Hi, design enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of Define Your Style. I'm Franky.
And I'm Tam, and we are the owners of Studio Interiors. And we are super excited to be getting into episode 2, where we will delve in deeper to the world of interior design with the 5 senses.
The 5 senses of design. You know, sometimes I need a little help remembering what all 5 are.
You know, there's a really good movie for that. Is that? No, it's the Emotions movie.
Okay, but before we get started, let's touch back a little bit on what we talked about in episode 1. You might have heard us mention something called the Y angle, which was all about how your Y is supported by the pillars of the intention and the mood so that you can help stay on track with all your design decisions.
So true. Exactly, Frankie. I mean, we're pretty much transitioning from conceptual, and now we're going to get into sensory, which is your faculties, your higher faculties of hearing, seeing, smelling, touching,
Tasting?
And you're probably wondering, how the hell do you do tasting in design?
We're going to figure out an edible interior.
We'll let you know, or you will know at the end of this episode.
Edible interiors, come through.
Edible interiors. She likes to cook and smell good.
Oh my goodness.
What's deeper than the senses?
Into the psyche of design. I guess the next levels are like intention. Not intention, I'm sorry.
No, what
imagination. Okay.
Yeah, what's
Intuition.
deeper?
Okay.
So what is deeper than the senses, right? Like is there anything beyond that?
Your imagination.
Ooh, okay. I actually used to have an imaginary friend.
Ooh.
Her name was Tonka. We won't get into that. But exactly.
What a name.
I know.
What else? Your intuition.
Your intuition. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
A reason. Reason's a really good one because it's a good starting point.
Yeah, I would say memory is a big one as well.
Oh, memory is a really big one.
Okay, so how would you say that there's a sense that connects with, a sense of an interior that connects with a memory?
Ooh, that's a really good question, Frankie, because a lot of times we get inspired from our memory, and being able to connect your memory into design is super important because I think it's a gateway drug.
I see that.
Yeah, you know what I
100%.
mean? Yeah, like for instance, like before when I was designing my kitchen, I went back and I just remember after Sunday when I used to go to church and my Nana, she would be making chicken and dumplings on Sunday, and we'd come through that front door and you would just smell the steam and the clink clank of the stainless steel pans.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was so important because that's what I was greeted with.
Yeah.
So having an open space kitchen tied in that memory for me and made me remember all of those cool moments on Sunday morning.
I love that.
I do too.
That's really cute.
What about you?
I would say the strongest sense of like any kind of those senses that connects to an interior has to be at a stay that I had at a Edition Hotel. So their property in Miami, one time we were there for work, and when you walk in, it just smells cool. It's got this like moody, sexy, just like, it's such a vibe, and the music's going, and it's such a cool kind of like dark, moody, organic interior that, you know, it's a lot of times whenever I've made choices for the things I'm choosing for my interior, I just want to recreate the way that felt, the way it smelled. So if you're out there and you make those little air fresheners that smell like hotels, please sponsor us.
We will put you in our homes. So will we say that like a faculty in senses and design create experiences?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially because those become core memories.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can instantly like close your eyes and smell it, and it takes you there in a second.
It takes you there.
Like in a minute. Yeah.
No, a smell can definitely do that.
Yeah. A good smell or even a bad smell.
Ooh. I might know a few of those too.
Pigpen.
Yeah, I mean, on any project, we're usually gonna try to get some candles that we think really set the vibe. We have some favorite ones that we like to use. But there was a time where I was working on a Parade of Homes project here in Park City, and we purchased all these different diffusers and all the candles tied in together so that when you walked through that house, you were kind of hit with that really beautiful floral scent, really clean. And, you know, that's something that kind of carries on in the memories of everybody that walked through that home, I think, is that you kind of get to experience a little bit of that smell and the way it connects with that interior.
Oh my gosh, and then they leave and then they vote for you because they remember.
Yeah, you're gonna vote for the house that smelled good.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times realtors I hear bake cookies just for that reason.
Actually, we've experienced that. We've eaten a cookie or two.
We have, I mean, and let me tell you, as long as they're chocolate chip, don't be trying to put in no raisin oatmeal cookie and try to trick me. Biggest disappointment.
Tell us your favorite cookies in the comments below.
When you buy a home, what type of cookies would you like to be baked?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
That's good.
That's good. This is funny. We're killing it today.
I know. I'm not even high.
I think another faculty that connects really closely with a sense is imagination with the ability of sight.
Ooh.
So to me, I feel like, you know, there's so much that you can see that's gonna really trigger your imagination and kind of get you thinking differently. So let's say we're working on a bunk room, for example, being able to incorporate some really playful elements, a really colorful, fun wallpaper you wouldn't expect, maybe a light fixture that's a little bit more quirky and out of the box. All those different things start to work together that when you see them, you do get into that imaginative mood. You kind of get into that playful, creative mood that doesn't even just apply to children's bedrooms. It's fun for media rooms or spaces where you're gonna entertain. Just having those like little elements of something unexpected and just kind of quirky and weird that are unique to you, I think that starts to open up people's imagination.
I love that. I love that you brought in it's not just for children. Like it's for kids. It's not just for kids. Tricks ain't just for kids. That this is something for adults to like stay imaginative, to stay playful. And maybe that even helps them with not being so scared with using a color, with using some kind of bold texture.
Yeah.
I think we get a little nervous with using something that's different because we can't imagine how it's going to come out.
I love when there's like a really clean, fresh, kind of modern looking room and then there's a chair in the corner that looks like totally overgrown, fuzzy, like a sheep, like an animal, right?
Yeah.
So like having those little moments pop into a home, I think invokes that sense of imagination.
And surprise, right? Something a little unexpected. I think that's really cool because let's say you're hosting and you're running out of conversation.
Every piece of conversation.
Every piece is a conversation. You know, but you're able to like bring in something from your travels. You're able to like talk about it. And a lot of times that inspires people to do the same thing in their home.
For sure.
Yeah.
When you don't have the weather to talk about, there's always something in the house.
There's always something in the house. You know what? You're like, okay, well, look over here at this stuff.
Leave me alone, please leave me alone.
Good. Okay, I got a trick one up my sleeve, mister. Okay.
Yeah.
How would we incorporate hearing and reason? Give it to him, Franky.
This is kind of fun. A
Right?
little mix and match.
Yeah, a little
hearing
mix
and
and match.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we're working on a project. Let's say it's a media room.
Okay.
You're gonna have a lot of sound coming out of there. We want it to be like shaking and just so good when you're in there. Those acoustics to be great. What we would do is treat the walls and the floor with materials that are gonna help absorb sound, right? So you would have maybe a really plush carpet, you know, being able to have acoustical panels on the wall and on the ceiling. That's gonna help contain the sound. Or if we're working on an office where private conversations are happening, you know, you want that sound to be a little bit more muffled. So you want to be able to have area rugs, window treatments, all those different elements tie in with a good strong sense of reason and sound.
Yeah. I mean, so figuring out what the reason is, right? We
Right.
know that, well, we're identifying it could be a theater room,
Yeah.
an office. But what if we want to host, right? So our reason is we want to host and maybe we want to have some like Chaudet playing in the background, you know, above.
Yeah.
And sound and being able to put them in areas to where it kind of like influx that sense is pretty cool too.
We find a lot of clients definitely want to make sure that they incorporate Sonos and speaker systems and things like that, even if you just prioritize it to certain areas, you know, like your dining room, your entry, your kitchen, your primary bedroom and bathroom. You can just kind of have the vibe going whenever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever your sound is.
And actually, I'll tell you another really good one is when you're sleeping. What do you think is like the number one thing people want to hear when they're asleep?
I have like fan sounds.
White noise.
I know. You know what I've had one that used to have like the raining sound and I miss that.
I do love that.
Yeah.
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 It has to be compatible to both people in the bedroom.
It really does. It really does. But sometimes just filling up that space with a little bit of noise really does enhance the space because now you're getting all the visuals, but when your eyes are closed, now you're getting some auditory.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Me too. You're not just trying to create a beautiful space, right? You're trying to curate your space that is personal to you. And that is why faculties are so powerful in design.
Yeah, so as you are on your design journey, make sure you always check in with the senses as well as your faculties of design so that your space can always be a really true reflection of you.
I love that. Blink. We're still gonna go blink, 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 blink. So thanks for joining us today in Defining Your Style. If you found this episode super helpful, which I hope you do, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends.
Or a family member.
Yeah.
A coworker, perhaps.
You know what? If there's a person on the street that wants to know what their style is, give them a link.
Yes. So until next time, stay inspired and keep on designing.